This message is brought to you by W Energy. Are you a gamer, streamer, podcaster, content creator, just a gym nut? Looking for a boost of energy without the jitters or crash? Then W Energy is the way to go. No calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. Just an energy drink packed with multiple vitamins and neurofactor. Go to www.w.gg to order your tub of W Energy now and use promo code ChaoticCulture1 to get 10% off your order. With that, let's get the show started.
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid the pro and friends black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
Hopefully my computer don't act stupid because it's been doing that lately. I don't know what's been going on, but in any case, good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. The KKP is brought to you by W Energy, the official energy sponsor of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Please be sure that you use promo code ChaoticCulture1 to get 10% off your order. Also, I am a ambassador to the Von 6 clothing line. Please be sure that you use promo code Ked to get 10% off the latest order, which is a Berserk t-shirt. Please be sure that you go ahead and run that up real quick. I will also, of course, be buying mine pretty soon here. The Chaotic Culture Podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from music, finances, black home ownership, business highlights, content creators, HBCU, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling, and so on and so forth. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 757, excuse me, no, I'm not. Live from the 401. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, you move, brother.
I moved, bro. It's crazy. And I don't even know if that's 401. I think it's 410. I'm tripping, bro. But anyway, live from Baltimore, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, aka the Calculator Millennial, aka the Encore presentation. Now, can I get an encore? Do you want more? Aka your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, all of that good shit. The 843 is me. Baltimore is the place to be. Always chaotic, never toxic most days. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. With me, of course, we got one of the co-hosts of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the instant negator himself, Scuba Steve. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, what is up? It is I, Scuba Steve, the instant negator. I could never be Gambit because I am not your ex-man. It is
Wow.
wow. I'm here. What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling, bro?
Doing good, man. Doing good. As always, y'all already know what we do. We start off with a mental health check just to be sure that everybody's in their right state of mind. As you can see, again, for me, I'm in a new location. I've moved. I've said that before. It's a little bare right now because I'm still getting furniture in and whatnot, but it's coming along nicely if I do say so myself. I am still waiting on a couch to make sure that this looks like a home and not just a run-of-the-mill bachelor pad where it ain't got no furniture and you sleep on an air mattress. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but come on, man. Let's be honest. But still, I've got pretty much everything that I need for the most part. All my essentials have been moved up. I'm kind of in a good headspace, but it is what it is. And with that, we have a new addition to the episode today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, the last time that she was on here, I believe it was the Roe v. Wade episode, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the last time we saw you here, Cam?
Yeah, and look where we are now.
Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the other founder of Inside the Mind of a Blerd. She is the pod mother, aka Cam. I'll go ahead and let her do the other introductions because she's got plenty of nicknames. But go ahead, Kamisha.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on your side of town again. It's nice to be here. You guys know who it is, and if you don't, I'm also known as Cam Kicks, Scamatron, Pod Mother, the greatest thing since sliced bread, and the nigga they always let down every time, all the time. Coming from over at It Mob. And again, thank you, Ked, for having me over. I thought, I was gonna have to start treating you like a crazy baby mama and start, you know, knocking on some windows to get back over here.
Nah, you already know. First and foremost, don't treat me like that. I'm not that kind of person. Like I promise you, like the invite is
Like,
open at any point in time.
all
Listen,
outside your window.
the invite is open for any It Mob member to come in if they want to invade. It is that simple. All you gotta do is knock and say, "Hey, I want to be a part of this episode." All right, cool.
Oh yeah, we fist to run down
Invasion.
on him. Gonna
Right,
run
right.
down on my boy a few times.
But in any case, we were just going over our mental health checks. I was just telling people, how I was feeling. This past weekend had a little bit of a struggle. I went back to Newport News to grab some things, and some emotions came up, some good, some not so good. But with that in mind, I got it all out my system, and I just continue to move forward. And yeah, I'm back here and ready to get life started in Baltimore. It's been an interesting journey so far, and we got plenty of places and things to do. With that in mind, Scuba Steve, how's your mental health been, bro?
For me, I've been all right. I'm sipping a little bit and just working behind the scenes, doing a bunch of little stuff for the different Blerd My Productions website, uh, the comics, getting all the legal stuff done. So for me, I just been chilling, man. Starting back up with season 2 of Wake the Dead. So we back to recordings every day, every Wednesday and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been chilling, trying to stay sober, but brother falls down and gets on that liquor bandwagon every now and then. Because I'm trying to get to a habit of like weekends only, so I can get in shape and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, I just be like, "Oh, is that some cognac?"
A wild cognac has appeared.
Yeah, like on Sundays, I try to get everything out of my house because I know if I walk past it on Wednesday, you think I'm gonna walk past you every day?
Nah, you the lowest meme, bro. You sitting at the table like, liquor staring at you on the table like,
you think I'm gonna
pop me open, boss? Like,
it's a shame.
Yo,
it's not a laughing matter, everybody, for that actually have problems.
No, it's definitely not. I just had to put that out. That's Steve for real. But
I'm joking.
That's all Remy Steve, guys.
I love me some Remy.
I ain't gonna hold you. I used to be like that in college. Now I'm definitely strictly weekends only, unless it's like a super special occasion. Like if
them next mornings be crazy.
I know, but see, if we are like, if I don't have work the next day, obviously, and I got like free liquor in the crib, of course I'm gonna be like, let me take a couple of shots. Like I ain't gotta worry about work tomorrow. But if it's a weekday and I know I gotta be to work the next day, I ain't touching that thing. That's just me.
I'm trying to get back in shape and stuff, but every now and then, especially like days where we like really, really messing with the website, and I don't know what I'm doing because y'all know I'm not technology savvy, so I get frustrated. I'll be like, "All right," I'll be like, "I'll be right back." You stay right here.
I hear you. All right, well, it's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Cam, how has your mental health been, madam?
I say I'm decent, but for your listeners who may not be our listeners, if you didn't know, my dog was taken.
Oh.
Back in April. One of my dogs was taken back in April. And it has been a process. It has been a process. I keep looking and I'm in the different groups and all that. But it truly has been a process of dealing with that. And then, as I said, it was one of my dogs because I have 2 dogs and a cat. And the thing is with my dogs, they're literal brothers. They're litter mates. They've never been alone, separated from each other this long, ever.
Yikes.
So they may not like look alike, but they are literally born the same day, same litter, everything. And it's days where my po baby, he'll just be howling at the top of his lungs just for no reason. He'll go stand by the door, and there's like a little sunbathing spot that they'll have that's near the front door that
Hmm.
my other dog used to like sitting, like laying in and just sleeping in, and he's taken to like sleeping in that spot. Like it's been tough. It's been like real tough because I ain't really got no leads in it. So it's like I'm balancing like everyday life, but still, just deep down I'm like not even sure how I'm processing if or when I'll get my dog back. But I'm like right there in the middle. I'm still, living life, but that's a part of my life that is kind of on hold. And I'm pretty sure I'll get a hold of my therapist because, baby, I got some things to tell her. And if I ever tell my therapist on y'all, just know whatever she's saying, how I interpret it, will determine your future with me.
Nope.
She don't even
Well,
know me.
Listen, no, because y'all be thinking you big and bad when people be like, once my mom or my dad knows about you. Listen, once someone's therapist knows about you, that's just way different than when telling your family or friends about it. And, like they partially cut them off. But now this therapist knows something deep and dark about you. And so don't let me tell my therapist. But yeah, what were you about to say, kid?
I was saying, first and foremost, I'm definitely continuously praying for you. I cannot imagine what that would feel like to have one of your best friends or one of your pets like taken from you like that in front of your nose, and the fact that the pup was taken away from its little mate, its brother. That's I know your baby's going through it, but definitely for our audience out there, like this is why we say that therapy is important, and this is why we always recommend that you do go to therapy. I went to therapy last year, and as soon as my health benefits kick in, I'm gonna be finding a therapist again because there are still, some new emotions to shift through. It's probably going to be a new therapist because I'm not in Hampton anymore, but I'm gonna see if I can get
Mm,
back and connect with her. And if I can, then I'll list out some of the things that I've been going through since we last talked. But it's very important, and we always push that because mental health is important, and I don't want
very.
anybody, yeah, out there to think that just because you're having a good time, or just because you see people smiling doesn't mean that they're going through it. Hell, sometimes, if I dare say it, like if you don't necessarily have to have anything wrong with you to go to therapy. It's
Mm,
not necessary. Like sometimes you just to make sure that everything is lined up, and maybe it uncovers something that you haven't maybe properly healed from, or maybe it'll help you move further in life. It's a very loaded, but at the same time, it helps. So whether you have something going on or whether you don't, I always say try to get a different perspective. So
yeah.
that's my
Get away from that stigma of thinking you have to have something wrong because you
yep.
don't. Because again, an outside view of what you have going on, and you may discover something. So,
Hmm.
but
Yes, indeed.
I can give you at the end for anybody who, well, mostly for women. I can find the male one, but it's a site that I use to like find my therapist, and I can give that at the end. And also, guys, look up different organizations, yourself included, kid, and
Hmm.
anybody who's listening. Look up organizations that have funding for therapy, because I know of one. They have funding, and you can sign up, and if you make it into their program, because they do it quarterly, and if you get in there, they'll pay up to what, like $200 for
Mm,
your therapy session, because a lot of therapists and counselors and all that, some of them don't take insurance, so
right.
it's an out-of-pocket cost. So definitely, I can offer that at the end. Just remind me. But yeah, I always look up if there are different organizations that has funding for therapy, especially as Black men and women, because we need it. We need it,
Indeed.
and yeah, but definitely look that up and get into it.
Hey, I'm definitely with it. I'm definitely with it. So, with that in mind, we've got a few things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Our Act One today actually covers something that happened last week. But before we do, I know the last time that y'all heard from us, the NBA Finals was still going on. Now that has concluded. We already know the Boston Celtics have won the NBA championship, or
No,
the
talk
excuse me,
about
the
this.
NBA Finals.
Uh,
Steve don't want to talk about it. He's a
talk about
Mavs fan. Ain't nothing wrong with being a Mavs fan. Look, I honestly I just wanted to see a good series, but unfortunately the Mavs were outmatched. And yeah, the Celtics have banner number 18. So I know the Lakers fans are pissed to high heaven, but maybe not, because they just hired JJ Redick as their new head coach. I I
it.
personally don't see how that'll help them, but if JJ actually ends up proving me wrong, then it is what it is, you know. Man ain't never coached before, so this will be interesting to see. If players becoming head coaches after they retire is very, very hit and miss.
I
So
mean,
Oh,
at least like get an assistant coaching job or something like that first. To give him
right,
straight up the head coaching job is just like, bro, like you're a whole franchise, you're an organization. You really, really, really need to let these niggas get some shit under their belt first. Like that's just
agreed.
crazy. Same. I mean, even with us, like Jason Kidd was with the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Milwaukee Bucks, and he wasn't good because he just straight up came out of retirement and started coaching, and it was just like
Hmm.
what? And like, I mean, me personally, I wasn't happy about him being hired for the Mavs. I thought that he's just pretty much just like, hey man, Luca and Kyrie go out there and do y'all thing. He not actually making coaching adjustments, and we gonna see. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like one. It's like it's a small percentage of Mavs fans that already didn't want him here, and then they start winning, so it's like, oh, we stuck because they extend them, so we stuck here.
hey, we have to see, man. We have to see. In the meantime, my Bulls are stuck in limbo.
Boy,
But
what the hell?
listen, we ended up trading for. I still don't understand this. We ended up giving up, just like
Alex
that. What's the
Caruso.
we? Yeah, there we go. We ended up giving Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. I
Hmm.
I I get it from a youth perspective, but one, that's a lot of baggage. That's a whole lot of baggage. And
Hmm.
then two, Josh, I get it, he's young, but he's not really proven to me. He's not a proven solid defender. But I know the thing with the Bulls, that the Bulls not only need defense, but we also need offense as well. But we need somebody to like actually facilitate the offense. And
It's not over.
granted, you say what?
I said it's not over. Y'all about to trade Zach Levine to the Kings, is what it said.
Now, see, if that happens, it depends on what we get in return for that. Because granted, Zach Levine, in my opinion, is good, but he's not a franchise player. Like, he's really good. He's a scorer and he's a slasher, but as far as leading the franchise, nah. Which is why I was confused when they traded Jimmy Butler for him in the first place. Jimmy has proven he can at least get a team to the finals. If everybody is good and everybody's not injured. Zach has yet to prove that. So
It says Zach Levine for Harrison Barnes and Kevin Herter. So y'all not even getting like Malik Monk or nothing.
no, because ain't Malik Monk getting an extension?
Yeah, so y'all blowing that team up is what it looked like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like it's getting blown up.
Because I saw they was talking about what you call it, DeMar DeRozan to the Clippers as well. Because Paul George is supposed to be walking from the Clippers, so they need to fill that void. So
Hmm.
some stuff about DeMar DeRozan going to the Clippers. So yeah, y'all about to blow it up, bro.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Definitely, we'll see what happens. I guess. In any case, let's get to the real Act One for real. For real, let's talk about the pop up concert, or the pop out Ken and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you weren't paying attention, or if you just happen to live under a rock somewhere, obviously Juneteenth was last week, last Wednesday. Happy belated
right.
Juneteenth for those who, of course, we did not get to tell. But Juneteenth happened, and Kendrick and a few West Coast artists had a little concert, mainly Kendrick, but of course he brought it together for
Mhm.
the culture. And for those who don't know, again, the concert was held last Wednesday, which was Juneteenth, at the this goodness gracious, I'm having a mind blanks today, but
Out there in LA.
it was in Inglewood
Mm.
at the Forum. There we go. Goodness gracious, long day. But anyway, this concert wasn't just Ken and his former label mates or anything like that. This was actually a cultural event that included
Yeah.
a bunch of West Coast artists.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that this was an excellent show from top to bottom, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, for those again who did not see it for some strange reason, I am going to, I guess, give you all the names of people who were actually at the concert, or the list of the artists that came out. First and foremost, DJ Head came out. And for those who don't know DJ Head, he's a prominent West Coast DJ that's out there. And you can catch him on a show that's actually featured by Complex, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's got some savvy words. And of course, he has his ear to Kendrick's camp and whatnot, especially throughout this entire beef. But with that in mind, the artists that he brought out were actually West Coast artists, some that a lot of us know, and some, of course, that we didn't know. But with that in mind, I'll just go ahead and give you the rundown. Of course, we had Rimble, which I've heard of Rimble. We had Rayvon, which I'm a TDE fan, so I know who Rayvon is. Then we had the Cuzzos that came out there. Shout out to those ladies. We had Ruchi and Ass Chike. I think that's how you say their name. Then you had Jay Worthy and Meet the Whoops. You had Wally the Sensei, West Side Boogie. Shout out to West Side Boogie. Man, he does not get enough credit. That dude is like he can spit for real, for real. And I know that for me there was a lot of confusion because West Side Boogie and the Boogie with the Hoodie actually came out like around the same time.
So
So
people's confused.
yeah, people was confused, and I was especially confused. I'm like, wait, there's Boogie.
Yeah.
And then when I was talking about Boogie, people would be like, "Oh, you talking about a Boogie with the hoodie?" And like, no, I'm talking about
Mm-mm.
Boogie. But of course, he had to add West Side to it. So yeah. Then you had Zoe Osama that was out there. You had Callan for real, and G Perico. Uh, Bino Rideau, I've heard of him. You had Blue Bucks Clan. That is a wild name to come out as, for your artist, but
Yeah,
hey,
Bro,
it's
that's cutting it close, my boy. What's
yeah.
the
yeah,
thought process for that?
it's I don't know, but it's a hip hop duo, so it's not just one person, but still, that's very close. But it is what it is. RJ Mr. LA, you had OGZ out there, Jason Martin featuring Problem. Well, no, it was just Jason Martin that was out there. I don't know if Problem actually performed or not. I think he was out there somewhere though. But shout out to Jason Martin for real, for real. And then after that set, Tommy the Clown and the Hip Hop Clowns came out.
Yep.
Now, if you don't know about Tommy the Clown, you're
Yep.
too young. I'm sorry. If you did not see
He's been around
Rise,
for a minute.
yeah, he been around for a
For
good
a
little
good
minute, for
minute.
almost 3
Oh, wow.
decades. But for me,
Mhm.
I know personally, I've saw the movie Rise once, and from that moment on was when I decided, like, when I danced, that was gonna be my style. Like when I first saw Crumpin' or Clown Walking, I honestly was not a person who was like into it at first, and then I saw that movie and I said, nah, fuck that. That's gonna be the way that I dance. So from the time that I was 16 and 17, I used to crump like all the time. Like that was my shit to do. So I can still do it a little bit. I'm rusty as hell, but if I decided to actually
We
like
we
get
we
back
gonna see this
into
in a
it,
couple of weeks. Okay, we'll give you
no,
time to get yourself together,
a couple of
and
weeks
I'm gonna
that
show up with a boom box.
Not with a
In a
boom
couple
box.
of weeks,
with a
I'm gonna
boom
show up
box
at
is
a boom
crazy.
box and be
I
like, hit it.
I might do it at DreamCon maybe if I get in the right shape. But
Y'all
like
hear that? For his
I'd have to
listeners,
practice.
y'all. For his listeners, y'all heard him.
I ain't recording it. If
Y'all
somebody else
heard
want to
him.
record it, then
Wait a
cool. But I ain't recording it. But
Y'all heard it here first. He's gonna crump for y'all at
we'll
We
see.
gonna try to get this man to the main stage.
Not
I,
at Cream Con.
Cream. Whoa,
That cream con.
cream con. Whoa, that's we ain't gonna get into that. But anyway, guys, yeah, Tommy the Clown brought out the hip hop clowns, and they did their thing, man. Shout out to the kids of Compton and all over LA that Tommy the Clown consistently keeps off the streets,
Mhm.
and it's really really important that he continues doing that. Now, Tommy the Clown also
Mhm.
got some allegations going on too in the past, but I don't want to dive deep into that because yeah, there's a when it comes to hip hop culture, there's a lot of questionable figures out there. But
Mhm.
y'all
Oh
already
yeah.
know this. Next up, DJ Mustard
Yeah.
came out with his set. Of course, we had Blast show up. We had YG.
Mhm.
Surprise, Tyler the Creator popped up.
Yeah, that was a
Steve,
surprise that Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
yeah, that I was like, yo, okay, Tyler out here. Of course, we got Steve Lacy that came up there as well. Who else? We had Dom Kennedy, of course, which was a that did my heart some joy, man, because that took me back to my college days. Like, yo, okay, that he was the guy when I was coming into college, and I really wish that he was more prominent out here. But nah, Dom Kennedy was that dude from the West Side with Love Too and the Yellow Album. If you have not listened to those tapes, please do yourself a favor and do so. Like that, amazing listens. Of course, Ty Dolla Sign was out there,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, Roddy Rich. He brought out Roddy Rich, and yep, Roddy. I know if I'm not mistaken, Roddy got an album coming out really soon, and people saying that this is actually his
Really?
best work since his first album, because his last album was kind of yeah. The music that he had been putting out lately was not all that good, but yeah, they're saying that his this next one that's coming out is actually really really good. So I'm praying for the kid, man. I'm hoping that Roddy actually gets back to where he was because I think he got famous way too fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that pressure got to him way too quick. He should have
Mm.
after that first album, he should have taken his time for the next one instead of rushing it out. But it is what it is, and then he ended up, putting out music that he wanted to put out, which, depending on the level of fandom you are, some people say it was cool, and some people was just like, but yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there, of course, Kendrick popped out, and he popped out with Euphoria. Now he messed up the lyrics a little bit, but as any consummate professional, he carried it, he caught
Right
on, he
on.
fixed it, and just kept the show going. And
Mm-hmm.
that for me, that is the level of not only a true performer but a true MC. Like if you know you messed up the lyrics, you don't say, "Damn, fuck, I messed up." You just keep going and you
Mm-hmm.
course correct.
Catch
And
yourself.
yeah, and find a way to make it flow, which he did. But yeah, the fact that the entire audience was singing word for word that song, like yo, they are singing Euphoria word for word, bar for bar right now. They are going with Dot.
They don't even
This
realize that they in the middle of an actual beef.
right.
Like
They
this is
don't
real.
even realize
Yeah.
like this is I gotta say this one thing about this beef versus the past, even though nobody asked, is this is very commercialized and marketable.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's definitely big money being gained by this. Just hope it don't turn into how it used to be in the old days. All of a sudden somebody pulling up onto the studio on somebody and all of that. So
I don't,
yeah, it's
with
very
Kendrick and
commercialized.
Drake, I don't think it'll get that far unless Drake decides to act out of character. Then yeah, but
Probably somebody people.
at the same time, it's like I just have to go back to where you, Drake. This concert is kind of on you because one, you had to say that got more love than the city that he's from. You had to
Mm-hmm.
make tailor
Mm,
made freestyle, and then on top of that, you had to call out some people in the West Coast that you
yeah.
thought that you were cool with. Like when you said, who really bang and said YG, and YG was like, "Yo, keep my name out your mouth."
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, it's like we know Kendrick don't bang, but don't think that he don't got people around him and people that he grew up with. Like, let's be real.
Oh
This man grew
yeah.
up in fucking Compton. For
Mm-hmm.
like, let's be fucking for
My boy
real, yo.
knows somebody.
Yeah, like
He knows
let's
somebody.
not act like the like Black Hippie. It wasn't full of gangbangers. Like Top Dog didn't used to bang. Like fucking Schoolboy Q was a Crip. J Rock was a
Hmm.
Blood. Solo got
Ain't
ties
no
to
was.
Crips. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no
Yeah, no,
was. They there for life. It's
Well,
just
yeah, they there for you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's like let's
Somewhat.
let's not act like the people that were around Kendrick don't know about that life, and that Kendrick
Mm,
himself ain't experienced that. Like this man saw a person shot when he was 5 and again when he was 9. Like, come on, yo,
I
mm-hmm.
come
mean,
on, man.
it's not even just that. It's the person that's calling him out about it. Nigga, we
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
you grow up on Degrassi for you to sit
My
here and
boy
call
from a
somebody out about,
wheelchair,
you know,
Jimmy.
to be like, nigga, I know you ain't real, nigga. I know who really banged said, nigga, you are from Degrassi, sir. Like
exactly.
this ain't your line to be calling nobody out. it would be
Right.
it'd
Like
be one
this,
thing if it was somebody else, but that's not his spot.
it's not.
Oh
It's not.
man,
It is that. Is
Aubrey.
that. It was not your lane, Drake. That was not your lane. But in any case, like I'm not gonna say Kendrick. Not excuse me. I'm not gonna say Drake is totally responsible for the concert itself happening, but he does play a role in the fact that you really were the catalyst for this entire beef, bro. Though
He
just some of
said,
the things
"Don't
that you
turn
said.
lies about me because I'll
Mhm.
tell truths about you." That's
And
what
the way
Kendrick
that
said.
the West Coast united behind Kendrick shows you, like, bro, that was something you should have never invoked. You should have never told him that you got more love than in the city that he's from, and you should have never done whatever comments that you made towards the West Coast. It just should have never happened. And then you should have never made a tailor made freestyle because, yeah, like people on the West Coast clearly don't fuck with that. But that's
Mhm.
neither here nor there. Like the concert itself was great. Kendrick performed a lot more of his hits as well. Of course, he performed Money Trees, which thank you for bringing J Rock out for that. He of course performed 616 in LA, but he had Absol out there. Now Absol actually didn't perform any one of his songs, which was surprising. But Solo just being on stage in general with Dot, I think that's really really important. And also for those who don't know, Solo also has had Steven Johnson syndrome when he was a kid. So it's not he's not blind, but he has super light sensitivity because he survived it and it really messed with his eyesight. So he can't be like in areas that have like large amounts of light, which is
Mm-hmm.
why like when the flames popped up, he was like, y'all ain't got no more flames around, right? Because it hurts his eyes even with shades on.
Mhm.
So yeah, of course, we had Schoolboy Q pop up with that part and collard greens. And J Rock, also performed Win and King's Dead. We got to hear DNA. We got to hear Element. We got to hear what else did we hear from Kendrick outside of the beef songs? I'm trying to think. I'm thinking off the top of my head, but there was just a lot of music that he played. Okay, well, dang, my I saw that my Wi-Fi kind of conked out a little bit. So I will edit that part. But what I was trying to say was Dr. Dre came out and yeah, we're gonna ignore that social commentary. Not to say that we don't
Mm.
know about it and that we aren't aware about it, because we obviously know Dr. Dre's history. Like we know, trust me, but that's not the conversation for today. But that in mind, he brought Dr. Dre out. Dr. Dre performed his verse on California Love and Still Dre. And then we got Not Like Us, not once, not
Six
twice,
times,
not three
bro.
times, 6 times, 5 times he performed with lyrics. The sixth time was just the instrumental. But yeah, the first time, and a lot of people aren't familiar with how Kendrick does his concerts, but like when he has a hot song, he will start the song, he'll stop it, let the audience sing it, come back, do it again, and then actually perform it. And he did that with Damn when Humble dropped the first time, and it was on the championship tour. The whole crowd sang Humble all the way through. He started again, whole crowd sang it all the way through. Third time, he performed it. And then he performed it a fourth time with everybody on
Wow.
stage. So this is actually very, very common for Kendrick. So of course, Not Like Us stopped after A minor, started it again, let the audience completely rap the first verse with him throwing words every now and again, then
Mm-hmm.
performed it a third time, then performed it a fourth time with DJ Mustard, performed it a fifth time with everybody on stage,
Yeah.
took a photo op, you know, make sure
Bro
that we
had
got the photo and whatnot.
everybody
Yeah,
up there.
everybody. Oh my
So
gosh,
come on in up in here.
he had all the sets up together, and I think that was really like the important thing because you had different people from different sets and different groups and whatnot. I don't bang. So I got to throw that disclaimer out there, but he had different groups
Hmm.
of people out there all
I know
together.
Drake feeling real industry
And
lonely right now.
hey, listen, now I don't know. He's got the OVO Fest. I don't know if it'll have the same impact that that concert has, but I do know that Drake does do OVO Fest. But at the same time, Drake also doesn't have that same industry love, at least not anymore, because his
Mm,
past has also burned a lot of bridges. And then on
mm,
top of that,
mm, mm,
Toronto
mm.
doesn't have like a lot of strong, super mainstream artists. So he might be able to like to put the little artists on and whatnot. But I wouldn't go and do that as a response. Like if you're going whenever OVO Fest is and whatnot, just wait till all
You
of this
know they're gonna show up to see who will be
down.
there.
I know they're gonna be like, so I wonder who's gonna be at OVO Fest when it happens, and you know, they'll keep tabs on it and see what happens. But I'm this is just my opinion. Like, chill, just chill for a little minute. I think Drake needs to lay low as far as that is concerned, and also lay low from going out to Cali for a little bit. Cause yeah,
Yeah,
not to say that he's not gonna have fans, and whenever music he decides to drop, like it's not gonna do numbers and whatnot. Let's be honest, y'all. Like this is Drake we're talking about, but at the same time, a lot of people ain't gonna look at him the same. And right now, the hottest song in the summer is calling you a PDF file. So
woo.
it
So, do
might
you
be good to
think?
chill. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think like with how Kendrick has done his and like who he has gotten on there, do you think if Drake does his festival and then he has people on there, do you think it's gonna be like a okay, you've drawn your line in the sand as like, oh, you rocking with Drake, and so like starting like a kind of Biggie and Pac, but type beef thing. It's like, oh, because you associate it with such and such, it's beef. You think?
I don't know if it'll get to that point, but I do know that there were some people out in the West Coast again that had an issue with what Drake was saying throughout this beef. So, like naturally, YG showed up like, "Hey, listen, you know, we might have been cool, but your comments, nah, I'm back in Kendrick." So
Mm,
it really just I guess it depends on who comes out there and what they say. So if he has OVO Fest and then people come up and be like, you know, fuck that West Coast shit, fuck that Kendrick shit, then it's like, oh, now we getting into the shit because the East Coast West Coast shit really wasn't like popping off until the Source Awards.
mm,
Like Source
Mm-hmm.
Awards was the real thing that was like, oh shit, it's a real war for real now.
yeah,
Even though there were jabs here and there before then, but as long as it don't get to Source Award level petty, then nah, I don't think it's gonna get to that level.
yeah. I think it's fine right now, and but I just don't know who. Like, what's really crazy is so many people that was riding for Kendrick came, they showed up, did that thing and stuff like that. But as many hands that Drake done touched, it's kind of crazy that like nobody is like, let me speak up for this. Like everybody is like, that's your fight, my boy, and that's it. Like, but with Kendrick, it's like niggas showed up, they did their thing. But with Drake, they just leaving this nigga out to dry.
I
And
think if Kendrick had mentioned that pedophile, I think Drake would have had a whole bunch of people ride for him because it's pretty much an open thing to be known that Drake ain't as straight and narrow as people want to believe. So it's like if Kendrick had flat out said it, I think more people
been behind his back.
would have. Mm-hmm.
Shout out the game not getting to go to the concert because he wanted to take a side. Loki.
Nah, I knew that the game situation, that whole thing, ever since he brought Drake out to Compton and they performed, did the video for 100, I think Kendrick was just like, nah, I'm not rocking with him no more after that. So yeah, the game is the game, bro. And I've said this to you before, Steve. Like, great rapper, but as a person, maybe not so much. That being said, I don't want my audience to think that Kendrick is like the moralist of moral people. He has high morals, but at the same time, Kendrick has a lot of faults too. Let's not forget. I mean, just being on the devil's advocate side, Kendrick did have Kodak Black as part of Mr. Morale. Like I can't ignore that.
Yeah.
But in the context of what's going on with this beef right now, it's like, yeah, Drake, you've got some real questionable people around you, and you do questionable things yourself.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
nah, we'll see, man. We'll see. But Drake, I
Birds
mean,
of a
Steve,
feather.
you made a great point about people just letting Drake handle it. Nah, that's you, bro. That's you, bro. Like you got,
Bro.
because I think the biggest backers I've seen of Drake outside of people who are not artists, aka Livingston Allen, are the game. Though he hasn't really like called out Kendrick per se, for real, and Azalea Banks, who gives a fuck? I'm sorry, like
Rory
Bro,
Mal.
Azalea is either it's the clock situation. How they say a broken clock can be right at least twice.
hmm
Like that's Azalea. But outside of the times when she right, it's just like, hey yo,
Mm,
girl.
yeah,
you
she.
okay?
I, I could go on a whole rant about Azalea Banks. Like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm not gonna do it tonight. That is another episode because
She
she.
gonna end up finding it and coming after you.
Hey, and that's fine. I'm ready for that smoke.
Bro.
You want to come over here to
She
Chaotic
be
Culture?
ready
Oh, trust
to
me. I you can talk fast and say all this bullshit you want, but I'm gonna point out all the times that you've been really weird too. I'm ready for that battle.
because she stayed looking out for anything somebody done said about
hmm
towards her. And then next thing you know, you done got this long ass post or either a long ass 10-page DM from her. So that
Hey,
way
listen.
it's her.
Ain't no such thing as bad publicity. So if you want to go ahead and
Yo.
call me out, hey, listen, Chaotic Culture Podcast was the one. You
That's
heard it
it.
here first. Chaotic Culture Podcast was the
Oh
one
my
that
god.
called out Azalea Banks and got famous from it, if it happens. So,
Yo. That's crazy.
but
But yeah,
that
nobody.
was the pop up
I
concert,
think
y'all.
I think 21 Savage might have spoke up a little bit about Drake in a sense, but he didn't like go crazy about it. He was all
Yeah, I
like,
think
Mr.
he just said that
British.
he still supports him and whatnot.
yeah, he was all like, if you've been beefing with me forever and you decide to wait till a bunch of niggas say something, you kind of corny. And I mean, to me, I agree with that because I know exactly who he was talking about. He's talking about Kanye, because
hmm
Kanye, it was when Kanye had decided all of a sudden to do a like that remix or whatever. Which
Right.
I mean, the beat was fire, but other than that, that was it.
Mhm.
Mm,
Nah, but I definitely get that as well, yo. Like you waited for this long to say something. Yeah, you definitely should have said something a little earlier and like told people how you really felt. But Kanye is a different case because Kanye got
he got something
to
going
put
on.
it. He got so much shit going on, man, in his
Hmm.
head. It's like anything that he does, I'm just like, okay, that's just Kanye being Kanye at this point.
Yeah,
Because yeah, the amount of things that he has said and done at this level, it's like I don't even take him seriously no more. But that's just me personally. I miss the whole Kanye. I'll be that one to say it. Like, give me Kanye from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and back.
you need somebody to write it for him then.
Mm.
Because
Well,
You let him write his own shit right now.
yeah, 'cause I mean back then it was consequence, reason, and then you got Saha the Prince back with my dark
mm,
twisted fantasy. So
hmm
like none of this, like we just been thinking that that was Kanye, but this been somebody else the whole time anyway.
this is absolutely right. Which actually kind of works into a great segue into our next topic for real, because Forbes dropped a top 50 rappers of all time
My
list.
lord.
And
Forbes?
yeah, Forbes. And let me just say that this list has some great names, but then it also has some questionable names and some questionable positions. So, with that in mind, and Cam, this is kind of, I know that I didn't get to this to you, but I do want to read this list off to you because,
Go ahead.
yeah, this is interesting. It's very, very interesting. Now, let's start with let's go 50 and let's go up. So at number 50 was Talib Kweli. Now,
Oh.
Talib, I have my issues with Talib Kweli, because we all know about that situation where he continuously docks that young
Mm-hmm.
lady that's on Twitter and whatnot.
His
Great
daughter has a
again.
song right now, doesn't she? That's
I I I can't tell you
I heard
because
somebody
I actually completely blocked that dude. Dude got issues.
Yeah,
That is
because
one rapper. I'm
his
like,
excessiveness of it and his hyper focus on her is it's just plain old harassment.
yeah. At this point, and of course my Wi-Fi is going crazy again. So just let me know if I'm getting packed up, y'all, so I can make sure that I edit this properly.
All
Number
right, just make sure
49.
to say the number. That way we'll
Got
know
you.
where we are.
Yep. 49. Young Thug.
What?
Uh,
You know what? This man probably they gonna play their way up out this damn trial. So let me not say nothing just in case they
Hey.
get to listening. Because the way they are playing, like I'm not gonna say whether they guilty, but baby, for them to get a RICO, meaning they just got shit back to back to back over time.
Mhm.
Somebody gets guilty of something, but hey, however y'all lawyer or whatever y'all done got y'all rehearsing, I guess by all means, because this is a circus. Wherever you bring the show to me, baby, that's where I'm a clown.
Well, number 48, Cardi B.
Oh, I wonder
Yeah,
what's that. Wait a minute. What did I'm sorry, just real quick. Did Forbes specify the criteria of for this? Like, what
I
is this?
did not see any criteria. I don't know if this is based off of sales and lyricism, or if it's a straight sales, or I don't know what this is. But this list is kind of all over the place
It can't be
Yeah, because
because,
I'm like,
sales.
yeah,
cultural impact. I don't know.
maybe. But number 47 was Chief Keef,
No, hell no.
which
Oh,
Keef, mind you, this is 50 greatest rappers of all time, all
All
time.
time.
Chief Keef has huge cultural impact between I Don't Like and Finito. Those are just two of the things, but of course he's got other hits. But yeah,
No. And
46
even
is Pusha T, which I thought was kind of low, but go ahead, Steve.
I better say, even with
really?
those two songs, those aren't lyrically great. So to be like, damn, he a great rapper. So
Yeah. So
no,
what's the
Right.
criteria?
yeah.
I don't know, but here's where I was really like, huh? 45 MIA.
High fly like
Oh,
paper, get high like plane.
I wanted to throw the list away right then and there. Like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
she
Let's move
not
on.
even
I was like, is she even a rapper for real? For real?
because that's
I don't
not
know
even
anything other
rap.
than paper
She
plane.
had some song. No, I fucked with her back in the day, and she's definitely got some songs. And I don't, I don't know. I, I don't know how if they're rappers or not, but they're kind of more so sing song type rappers. Like it's not necessarily. I guess it's a form of rap, but it's more sing songy. Like so, I don't know. What's his
Uh,
name? Fetty Wap makes me think of that.
yeah,
They kind of
okay.
sing song rappy. Like that's kind of what I think of when I'm doing that. But go ahead.
hmm All right, so I said number 46 was Pusha T, which I said was kind of low, but okay. At least he's on the list. I'll give him that. 45 was MIA. 44 was Takeoff. Rest in peace.
Mhm.
Rest in peace.
I don't know about top 50 all time,
Yeah,
but Takeoff was the
he was the
lyrical
best Migo.
genius behind. Yeah, he was the best Migo.
Mhm.
And like his flow was absolutely crazy, and the way he was able to dissect his flow, I will give him credit beyond that. Top 50, I don't know, but we'll see. Number 43, Melly Mel. I'm not gonna argue
Oh,
against the legends being
Mhm.
put on this list, so I'm gonna step back from that. Like, you know what? Okay. 42, Prodigy, way too low.
Yeah, that's super
oh
low.
yeah,
Way too low for Prodigy. Rest in peace. Uh 41, Lupe Fiasco, also way too
yeah.
low.
Way
He
Like
should have.
way too low. If he not top
That's why
15
it's like
or
kind of
top 10 or top
what's the
5 even.
criteria?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
I
Uh
mean, because even being impactful, like culturally impactful, like
Yeah, I don't
mm-mm.
understand how Lupe is 41. That's crazy.
That yeah, crazy.
And then the person right above him is Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny at number 40. Like,
Like, bro, this is a joke. If I'm a rapper and I'm on this list, I'm kind of frustrated because like it's like you gave me my credit, but at the same time, some of the other people on the list, it's kind of disrespectful.
very, very. Okay. All right, moving on. 39, Method Man. Too low.
Too low,
38, E40. Eh,
too high,
okay. He's yeah,
too
a
high.
little too high, but
Yeah, too
That's
high.
definitely
but
got to be cultural impact. That's definitely
my,
got to
my
be.
E40 over Method Man is crazy. I don't care what nobody
yeah.
Mm,
Uh
E40
very,
over Method
very
Man is
crazy. You
fucking
got
crazy.
listen.
because I'm
He's
definitely
fucking
not gonna
crazy.
say he a super lyricist, but as far as making culturally impactful songs and like forever lasting tracks, oh yeah, definitely that. But looking from a lyrical and wordplay and from that standpoint, I wouldn't say he's got that, but he definitely, knew enough to be able to, create some hits and be featured and drop some tracks to be on a feature. So I don't. This got to be cultural or
Very,
like how
very much
impactful or
so.
something.
Yeah, I don't see it, but as you said, like when it comes to cultural impact, I will give E40 his credit, but as far as lyricism, I don't know.
Mm,
I do not know. I
Tell me
can't
when to
call it.
go. Tell me when to go.
yeah,
Tell
I'll
me
tell
when
you.
to
I'll
Yeah,
go.
say it
Tell
for
me
you.
when
He
to
not.
go. Go
He shouldn't be
dumb,
on the top
dumb,
50.
dumb.
A lot of people will say whatever. Nah, he shouldn't be on the top 50.
mm,
But there's people on here that's not. There's a lot of people on here that shouldn't be top 50.
yeah. We'll get to that in a second. The next one after that, Rock Marciano,
Yeah.
which I hmm
Who you say?
Rock
Rock
Marciano.
Marciano.
Okay, I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got good music. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. That one might be the one where I'm kind of like I'm okay if he is on the list. I'm okay if he's not on the list. Not to say that again, shout out to Rock Marciano, man. Like for real. But dude got respect all up and down. And if you're not familiar with him, like them old songs from Flip Mode Squad, like that, this is one of Busta's riding
Mm.
partners. So I mean, I'll give him credit. I don't know. That's one of those ones I probably would have
They
to come back and give my opinion on because right now that one's the only one that I'm like, huh?
they
Well,
definitely use Willie on this shit.
yeah. So,
They use Will.
all right. Next after that, number 36, MC Light. I'm not mad.
I think she should have been higher.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, she could
mean,
have been a
just
little higher.
maybe closer,
I think. I
like
mean,
upper 30s.
the
Upper
names that's
30s, I feel.
above her, absolutely. Some of the names
Oh,
that's above her.
Except for a couple, but we'll get there. 35, LL Cool J.
Feel like it should be higher too.
mm,
He
I,
could be higher.
eh, I, with him, if you go like as far as lyricism in his kind of earlier stuff, when he was coming like straight out the block, swinging, and then he kind of did that gradual shift to Lover Boy, ish, like one of the earlier Lover Boys, I guess. But later on, when he kind of tried to meet too many new age pop hits, I don't know. He kind of just
I
when he
would
was
say
Miriam.
LL Cool J from 1984 to 1996. I will absolutely keep him in one of them top spots. Now,
Mm,
anything after 96 is debatable,
Yeah.
but
mm.
I think that 12-year span, you couldn't tell me that LL wasn't one of the top MCs, like for real. But as you said, like as time goes
Yeah.
on, we got Headsprung in the early 2000s,
And
which
now to get your head sprung.
it's a
And now to
bop,
get
but
your head sprung.
that first
Yeah,
line,
it was about,
he
but it
will
was like,
he will never live that
Lord
first line
mercy.
down. They call me Big LA.
Big
Like,
LA.
who calls you that, my guy?
Yeah, look,
But
he forgetting what time he's in and the era he's in, starting it like
yeah,
that. So, but go
indeed,
ahead.
indeed. Uh, all right, 34. Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino.
Um,
I think he's the
he's
great
I
rapper, but top
I'll
50 of all time, I don't think so.
yeah.
I don't know about top 50 all
He's
time.
he's
So,
he's creative and he's had a cultural impact. We'll definitely give him that. But I don't know if I could do top 50. But like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know. Willie and some just luck was how they did this list. I feel like they definitely put some names in and whatever
Mhm.
came out when they spun that motherfucker. Cause I'm so confused on what I want to say. What is the solid something that says, hey, let me put you on the list, but let me also put you above or below this person. So it's like, what is it? What's the criteria? Is this a
Yeah.
popularity contest? Like what's going on?
he's got
Well,
something.
it's got some names, but let's get to the. I think this is where we get to like the real meat and potatoes for real, for real. So number 33 was Future.
Um,
Excuse me.
Yeah, Future's on this list now. In terms
popularity.
of lyricism, I don't know, but as far as cultural impact, I can't deny Future, bro. Like
Oh
I can't.
yeah.
Yeah, you cannot deny him that. Like, dude he is the Atlanta sound.
Mhm.
That's where they get hit their shit from, mainly Future. So yeah, 32, Busta Rhymes.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah, that's low.
It's crazy.
31, Most Def.
Crazy.
Yeah, low.
It's getting crazy.
Yeah, 30, Queen Latifah.
Crazy. Because Dre is at 29 and he's not better than either one
And
of
that's where I was getting to the point. Number 29, Dr. Dre at 29. He don't even write his own lyrics.
Yo, he
What the fuck?
don't.
yeah,
What
He
the
don't
he's
at
not
all.
better than
This
yo?
none of
this
them.
yeah, it's definitely getting to be popularity contest and
It's got to
probably
be.
new
Yo.
age towards the top.
Come
What?
on, man. Now,
Man makes a
again,
beat and all of a sudden he's the greatest top 50? What?
greatest rappers. Greatest rappers.
Yeah.
Dre is not a rapper.
Boy, I swear
I'm,
to God, if Diddy is in 1 through
No,
28
no, no, no.
anywhere in this
Nah,
shit,
if Diddy
I'ma
was on
lose
this
it.
list, I would have said throw this entire fucking list
No,
away.
no.
Like, absolutely the
Because
fuck not. Hell no.
absolutely not.
Dre is not better than Queen Latifah, Mos Def, Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J, Method Man, MC Light, or Lupe Fiasco. Like he's just not better rapper than none of them.
He's
None of them.
not. And I'm clipping that, by the way. I'm clipping my reaction to that because yeah, ain't no
Mhm.
no. I love Dr. Dre as far as his impact.
Mhm.
You know, personal shit aside, the impact that he's had on the West Coast from NWA to now, you cannot deny him that he is an OG, he is a legend. But rapper, hell no, hell no. Where's Bishop Bullwinkle, man? I need to insert hell no to the
Take
no
it out.
no no. I'm gonna add that shit in there just because. Whoo. I
You
may
talking
not
about
have time to do this because we
just
got to put
saying
this up by Tuesday.
anything.
But yeah, that's okay. All right, let's get back to it, man, because we got a lot. Number 28, Lauren Hill.
Really?
Yeah. Now,
Because it's got to be cultural. Because Lauren dropped what
One,
I
one,
say. Well,
if
no,
you
if you
don't,
ever heard her
if you do not,
MTV,
yeah, if you do not count the Fugees, she dropped two projects: the Miseducation and, of course, the MTV Unplugged shit. If
mm-hmm,
you count the
mm-hmm.
Fugees, that's four projects she's actually dropped. And I will kind of say, like, Lauren Hill as part of the Fugees, honestly, I don't blame them for including her on this list because she could spit. She can spit.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
I think with her
I'm not.
one album, The
Yeah.
Miseducation, she just kind of did something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is that I'm not mad at her being on the list. Is she a little high? Maybe, but
Oh,
uh,
really?
because I think
Really?
that
You
there's
feel like
other,
she should be lower?
not like not that much lower. I
Mm,
would probably
mm.
would have said like if you switched Queen Latifah and her, if you switch those two spots,
Oh.
because I mean 28 and 30, like if you switch those two spots,
I
then
mean,
I'm fine with it. Because I personally think Queen Latifah is a better spitter, but that's just me
Mm.
personally. But as far as cultural impact, yeah, Lauryn Hill definitely had a well, at least in music, she had a bigger impact. overall, as far as the culture, I would give that to Queen Latifah all day.
I agree with you. I think that she should be a little bit lower, and it's mainly because of the names that they have so low, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Method Man, LL Cool J.
Yeah,
That run is crazy.
very,
like that's a crazy run. So
very like the names below her. It's just like nah. I love Miss Lauryn Hill, but I cannot see her beating out Buster or LL or Most definitely.
yeah,
When we get to like the Future and Childish Gambino, okay, yeah, I'm
yeah,
keeping
she
Lauryn Hill
got
above them.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right. So number 27, Juice World.
No,
This they was just they were. You know what? Let me stop because that would sound just mean. Like that baby was going through some things,
Mm-hmm. I
and God rest his soul. But I don't know what this. I don't understand the criteria. I truly do not understand.
I don't either, but let me say this: Juice World's potential,
Mm,
his ceiling, was incredible. I've heard his freestyles when he wasn't making the music that he wanted to make, like the what we call emo rap and whatnot. When he was just spitting, that dude could spit. Like you put him in front of a microphone, he could just go off the top of the dome, and the lyricism was absolutely crazy. It's
mm.
just unfortunately he did not have the
The right people
same
around him.
impact in the little bit of life that he was given as
Mm,
somebody like a lot of people who were on this list. And we could talk about how Biggie only had 2 albums before he, unfortunately was taken away at a young age. But we, Juice World being on this list is still very highly questionable. Again, God rest his soul, but I don't know if I'm putting him top 50. Now, if he had a chance to, of course, be on this side of heaven a little longer and he continuously dropped great music, then it could be discussed, maybe. But unfortunately, we'll never get that opportunity to figure that out. So I don't think that him being on this list, I just don't think he should have been on this list, at least not yet.
no,
But that's just how I see it, unfortunately.
yeah, I don't.
Um, kid,
Yes.
maybe you should maybe you should do maybe a top 20 of the new younger artists, newer like rap artists. Cause then I think you could kind of play around with whether Juice World or even X Extension. Is that how you say his name, y'all?
XXX Tentacion.
Okay.
But yeah, we can I can probably discuss that, but we'll yeah, that's a good idea. I honestly also wanted to do I wanted to bring back my top 25 hip hop albums of the year, which that'll
Mm.
probably be more towards the end of the year because I want to see what music all comes out in 2024, obviously. So yeah, we'll definitely put that. We'll definitely get that out there. All right, number 26, MF Doom.
I don't
A,
know much about MF Doom at all, so I won't say
a,
that.
a tiny bit low, but I'm not mad at it. He's on the list. I think that he deserves to be on the list. 25, Ice Cube. Okay.
Um,
What you about to say,
he's
Kev?
good. He's good, especially if he beefing. The niggas,
Especially
especially if he beefing. Oh yeah, he gonna be the best motherfucker around. Amongst who he's probably competing with. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Criteria is just sending me
I'll
spinning
put
because I don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah, well, let's see. Number 24, 50 Cent.
uh-uh. Not top
Uh,
25.
Yeah,
that's
you can have it.
too high. That's too high for me.
Not top 20.
Like if he's in top 50, okay, but that's too high.
Yeah,
If we talking straight lyricism and straight bars, now if we talking cultural impact,
of course.
maybe, but as far as lyricism, and I love 50. Nah.
I'll put him top 40.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'm not arguing that point at all. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
25 is a little early.
it's a little high.
Mm,
23, DMX, way too low.
way too fucking low.
Yeah, way too low.
It's
Yeah,
disrespectful at that
the
point.
next three actually, the next four actually are way too low. Well, I guess maybe it just really depends.
So
Because number 22 is Big Daddy Kane.
crazy.
Now, hear me out on this one. I don't know if I'm putting Kane above DMX, but at the same time, Kane could go. He could go with the best of them. So I don't know. That one's interesting. Do
Mhm.
y'all think that Big Daddy Kane deserves to go above DMX, or do y'all think that that's like that's correct? That's
I think
I don't know.
so. The issue would be on longevity. That's where it would start getting to that point where people would be
Hmm.
like, okay, did he last as long? Because DMX was just what 20, 19 years at one point, probably longer than that. Probably, I think it was what.
It, yeah, I'm gonna say that in the short span that because DMX only dropped like maybe like a handful of albums for real. But in
Mm,
terms of longevity, that people will recognize the X's name more than they recognize Big Daddy Kane, unfortunately.
truly.
And listen, let me just be the first to say that this is no offense towards Big Daddy Kane because one of my favorite 80s hip hop songs is Ain't No Half Stepping, and
Mm.
he is not a half stepper. Big Daddy Kane is a big stepper. But when it comes to longevity, yeah, I'm probably putting X before him.
Putting X over it. And
Yeah.
then, because I just seen a freestyle that he posted like not too long ago, where he
Hmm.
was rapping to Swiss Beats, and he is very much so like
He is.
he graduated and his flow went with time. I'm like, bro, why did you stop rapping if you gonna keep like he don't sound like no '80s rapper
Right, he don't.
because he was
He
rapping
does.
to it was a Swiss Beats track. What was it? I'll find it and send it to you. Well, like, yeah, and he was freestyling to it, and I was like, yo, he actually going
Yeah,
hard.
he
Yeah.
really is. And I mean, you can even hear that in some of his, other songs and other albums. But I think as time went on and he, had his struggle with substances, I think, that just cut short a lot of time he could have been able to, really kind of just bring it, especially as an older person and still having because take not saying he's super old, but like Busta Rhymes, you have him
Hmm.
lower on the rack and you still have young rappers trying to get features from him.
Mm.
Yep.
He's still dropping stuff, but that's why I said this kind of confuses me with the list. I mean, like, is it cultural impact? Is it about popularity? Who's
It's 40.
most memorable? Like what is it?
That's fair. Uh Now this is where I'm a little like if I wasn't angry before or pissed before, I'm pissed now because number 21 is Rakim.
It's crazy.
Way, way, way too low. Like I don't even want to talk about it. That's
Rap-
that's criminal.
At a certain point, it's like who's making these lists? Like you said,
I
the Forbes, like it's crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Taylor mysteries, man. Big mysteries. Who
Mhm.
that might be something that I might have to, put on my sleuth hat for and find out. Like, let me solve this case and find out who made this list, and let me just talk to him real quick.
Yeah.
Now, number 20 is Common, and kind of honestly, I think Common might be a little
Too high. He a little too
a,
high.
li- a little too high, but it's not. I'm not mad at it.
Hmm.
I'm not mad at the spot. I
Yeah.
should say just,
For
but
for
I'm
me, 20 is an okay number.
uh
The
huh.
issue is all the names behind it.
That's what I'm
Trying
Yeah,
saying.
to
who
Like you
do
got
y'all feel can knock
Rakim and
him?
Kane behind Common. I don't know if or DMX behind Common. I don't
DMX
know.
behind Common, Busta Rhymes behind Common. Once
Common
again,
right.
method.
So out of
Most yeah.
the past five, who do you think could just easily take that 20th spot from Common out of the
DMX.
past five?
X.
DMX.
Yeah.
and that's just but I wouldn't mind him being at 20 if this list was in accurate order. You know what I'm saying? But since it's
Yeah.
not in order, it kind of feels weird.
All right. So with that in mind, number 19 is Ghostface Killer. Now, Ghostface being on this list, not mad. 19, a little high. My only issue is that you got Ghostface on here, but you don't have Raekwon on here.
Hmm. Don't got Raekwon,
You
I
don't
don't.
got ODB on here. You don't got Inspector Deck on here. Like you missing a good bit of the woo.
Yeah.
That probably should have been on this list, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, that's my gripe.
Yeah.
Number 18 is Snoop Dogg.
That's too low.
Yeah. Uh 17, Tyler the Creator.
Too high. I
Too
don't think.
high.
I don't think Tyler should be on this list.
Hmm.
Personally,
Really?
50. You see what I'm saying?
If we taking in cultural impact,
Oh
I would
yes,
say
of course. I'm a
yeah.
huge Tyler fan in that case. But if
Hmm.
we're talking top 50 greatest rappers,
Yeah, in terms of like lyricism and flow, I don't know if I'm putting him that high. I would probably still keep him on the list, but I don't know if I'm putting him that high.
50.
But I
There's a
can't deny, yeah, I can't deny Tyler's impact, yo. Like, and I was not. I'm gonna be honest. I was not a fan of Odd Future because I think the shock raps were just way too out there for me
yeah,
personally. Now, when he mellowed down and calmed down, it's like
yes.
okay, I can see his
Once
artwork. I
Cherry
can see
Bomb
the
came
beauty of
out,
his maturity. Yeah, when Cherry Bomb, it was like okay, now we getting somewhere, Tyler. Like I see where you're coming from. I see your perspective and I see how well you can make music. Anything before Cherry Bomb, it's kind of like I'm good on that, bro.
yeah.
You got it.
Wolf and Goblin was a lot, but Cherry Bomb, Flower Boy, Igor, like that. That run is crazy. Igor,
Mm-hmm.
call me if you get
If
lost.
you get lost, yep.
That's a nice run. But 50 is just the only reason I'm saying 50 is crazy is because there are some names that's not on this list at all. That is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and we'll get to some more of that later. Yeah, there's definitely some names on here that I'm just like, what?
Shouldn't be on here.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Number 16, Lil Kim.
Hmm, I think
Oh,
I'm okay with that number, just not with all the people that's in front and by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
I
okay
don't
with the
know
number though,
because she
honestly.
she she's actually good, especially her older stuff. Well, it depends on whether she's by herself or if she's kind of a feature with somebody, because she definitely kept some hits for herself on her albums, but whenever she's featured, oh, she's a menace.
Hmm.
She's a
Yeah,
menace on somebody's feature.
Yeah, I fuck with
she.
Kim.
I
Um,
do. I do as well, man. I think it's a good spot for her.
yeah,
Again, we just have a problem with the list in general.
yeah.
Okay,
Number
number
15,
15,
another person I don't think is top 50 of all time.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah,
All right,
just
let me.
anything, just anything's happening at this point. Just anything is happening. This is the Twilight Zone, guys. You've entered the Twilight Zone of a chaotic culture.
That shit is
Oh,
crazy.
for sure. Like, let me just. Okay, where do I even start with this one? Um, Rocky as a lyricist is cool.
Cool.
Top 50, I don't know. I don't think so. And then if we talking strictly like album work, definitely not. Because really and truly, the only outside of Live Love ASAP, but that's a mixtape, the only like album that was really, really good was his first one, Long Live ASAP. Because at long last, ASAP was and then testing was just like I get that it was experimental and it was a concept album, but the concept didn't hit
Mm.
just from my personal opinion. Now, if he drops more music and it ends up being good, that's one thing. But I'm just like, I don't know about this. I do not. Him being 15, 15? No, no, no,
Wow.
no, 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 no. That I can't rock. As cool as ASAP Mob was, and again, as dope as a lyricist as he is, I'm not putting Rocky top 15. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
Yes, no, I'm not doing it either. I'm not putting them top 50. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Number 14, Chuck D.
Okay, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm not mad at that either.
Not
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah. 13, Missy Elliott.
Oh, she got to be higher.
Hmm.
Well, wait a minute. Let me hear who else. You
We'll,
got,
yeah,
but she definitely
we'll
got to
get
be
there.
higher.
All right, 12, Notorious B.I.G.
I
That's
guess he okay where he at because I know people start getting fickle about
I'm just
that.
gonna say, yeah,
Despite I only had two albums.
if Biggie had a chance to extend his life, then I would say this needs to be higher. Unfortunately, his life was cut
Yeah.
short after 2 albums, so it's kind of like what we
Hmm.
got though was incredible from those 2 albums, and well, I guess 2.5. But we all know Diddy liked to milk the fuck out of Biggie and shit.
mm,
But
the Biggie
yeah,
duets. Yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
even want to talk about that shit because I'm still
That
upset.
man.
I am still upset on the Biggie duets because of the song "Spit Your Game." For that one reason, I'm like, you reused his verse from Notorious Thugs. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? And it
Yeah.
was crazy because I was in high school and there were colleagues of mine who had never heard that verse before. I'm like, have y'all ever listened to Biggie before?
No.
And it's just like, apparently not. I'm like, yo, all of this shit is reused.
Yeah.
Like, what are
Hmm.
we
Everything.
doing?
Yeah. Everything.
Everything was reused. This was not new material from Biggie at all.
Hmm.
I,
I would have Biggie higher. But I mean, the world kept spinning. That's the whole thing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's the biggest thing. The world just kept spinning.
for real, for real. All right, number
You live.
11, Three Stacks, Andre 3000.
Who else? Who and not in the top 10?
Not in top 10.
He's not in top 10. Number 10 is Eminem.
Hmm.
Okay, this just turned
Okay.
racist.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So here's what let me give
This
you
is the biggest disrespect.
yeah. So we had Three Stacks at number 11, Eminem at
Mm.
number 10, Nas at number 9, Nicki Minaj at number 8.
This is the biggest disrespect.
Uh,
I'm moving Nas above Nicki Minaj. I'm moving Eminem above Nicki Minaj. I'm moving Andre 3000. I'm moving Notorious. And I'm moving Missy Elliott all above Nicki Minaj. Fuck what y'all talking about. I'm moving
Listen.
all of them above.
I mean, even though she actively pursued a relationship with, you know, Fender,
Uh,
She married the
Nikki
offender.
actually,
I don't care about
yeah,
that. This ain't
she
personal.
actively pursued
Yeah,
a marriage.
yeah.
But
This
she,
ain't
she,
yeah. From a personal standpoint, yeah, we leaving the personal shit aside. Like,
yeah, trash.
I'm not
But
putting Nicki above Nas. I'm sorry.
I put Nicki above
well,
Nas,
yeah,
Eminem,
If you
Andre.
have her in the top 15, I'm okay with that. But above Nas,
I'm not
above
putting,
Three Stacks, above Biggie, no.
mm.
I'm not putting
If
over.
anything,
I'm not putting over Snoop either.
no, not at all. But
Well, that's
it's,
why I'm saying I wonder what these criteria are. Like, what? So, what is it that is saying to y'all that y'all want them above her?
I,
Because
what,
like all of them definitely had album sales. They all made
yeah,
impactful songs. They all, for the most part, do a lot of their own lyrics. There was some of them that they do have some people come and help them and write them. So, like, out of that, like, what's having y'all move them around like that?
she's not a better rapper than Nas. She's not a
she's
better
not.
rapper. She's just not a better rapper than they are. Your sales and
And,
stuff
and
is
and what
great.
do you mean by that? Are you talking about flow? Are we talking about
Flow,
lyricism? Like
lyrics,
what?
all that.
Lyricism, subject matter.
Yeah, all of that.
Um, yeah, all it. Look, 50, Nas at 50 plus years old, I would say could probably still wrap circles around Nicki. This is,
Mm,
Yeah,
and this is me
oh no,
listening
I
for.
never take away from the fact of him being a lyricist.
I'm not having Nicki above Nas, Eminem, Andre, Big, or Missy, or
I
Snoop.
just
I
but
know
I
a
also
couple
think
others.
that I also think that Nas had bigger impact than Nicki because while Pink Friday was a great album, mind you, and what Nicki's doing sales wise is cool. I'm not taking Pink Friday over
Illmatic.
Stillmatic, Godson, Streets Disciple, Life is Good. I'm damn sure not taking Pink Friday over Illmatic. Hell no.
Yeah.
hell, there's a lot of people on this list who I'm not taking over Illmatic.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and then also, what if it was on like content of the CDs of their albums too?
Yeah. I
So
mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we know when you in this top 20 era, everybody is like, respectable and stuff like that. We get that.
mm,
I'm not putting her over Nas. Like I'm not.
no, I'm
I'm
not.
not
I just
doing
wish
it.
Missy wasn't like lower, because if Missy ever did a versus, it would be Missy and Friends, because ain't nobody going against her.
No.
At least not another female, and then another woman, and then even if you try to get a male to go against her, like that's gonna be hard because she's guaranteed to hit every single album.
The verses that I wanted
More than,
was the verses that I wanted that made the most sense was Missy versus Buster. That would have made the most sense. Just
I
because
think
it's
it
like,
would be
Mm,
Missy and Buster. That's
well,
yeah,
I mean
that
verses.
and they on tour right now anyway, so
Yeah, but because they videos were so wild and creative,
mhm,
yes,
that verses
they were
would have
ahead
been
of their times.
yeah.
for damn sure. All right. So number 7, we just talked about this guy, Kanye West.
I also don't
Um,
have Kanye. I don't
yeah,
have
that's
Kanye over
Which
Nas.
which
nah.
Kanye, which Kanye is at number 7? That's
Yeah.
that's the real
It's
question.
I
Which
think yeah,
Kanye do we have at number 7?
I think
We
we're
got
going back to
college
cultural.
dropout one,
Mm-hmm.
or we sitting up here. We got Yee.
Yeah,
Like no, like Pablo was pretty good. It
yeah, I
was
was gonna say Life of
pretty
Pablo
decent.
was solid. Nah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
even lie,
it
but
was pretty decent. So yeah, which
uh
who's standing in number 7? Because it's multiple Kanye's. If we talking about people on the list, because there was a shift with their music, but which Kanye do we have at number 7? Like, which one do y'all think will be at number 7?
considering that Kanye doesn't like write a lot of his raps, um with that in mind, if I'm taking Kanye before the Life of Pablo, or rather I'm taking Kanye before Yeezus.
Yeah.
Anything
My
from,
dark
as I
twisted
said
fantasy
before,
and before.
yep. Then yeah, that Kanye. Oh yeah, cool. From a cultural standpoint and from everything else, yeah. Okay, we're talking. But as far as like after, I'm not
'Cause
rocking.
you got Yeezus, you got Watch the Throne, um, Yay, Life of Pablo, and then
Oh, what, 808, man? 808s was
808 is
lit.
before my Dark Twisted Fantasy, so we still
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
still
that's still included.
that's number 7. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, but I still don't have that. I still don't have him over Nas.
me
Um,
either.
but yeah, I mean, still, I think Kanye 10 top 10 though. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be mad. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. All right. Number 6, Drake.
It's another situation where the hits and stuff,
Yeah,
like
the hits is gonna carry.
the greatest rapper. I mean, we ain't heard him raps in so long until till the beef started
Hmm.
to really you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
He finally got the pen working again, in his words.
yeah. So I don't know. Um, Drake the hit maker and stuff like that, all the number ones, and you passing the Beatles and stuff like that. So you have to have him top 10. I don't know. Like when I see 50 greatest rappers of all time, I'm literally my criteria is first thing first is lyrics.
Hmm.
That's what I don't care about album sales and stuff like that. We're just talking about the best rappers that spit. And if
Same.
that's the case, then that changes my whole list for me.
Yeah. All right. 5, Pac.
Okay. Um,
He was another one that didn't have a lot of albums out, but that
Well,
beef drove it.
here's the thing.
It
Pac
made
actually
him stand
had a
out.
lot. Let me see. If we talking from the albums up until his death, not his posthumous release, except for the Machiavelli album because he actively worked on that. But we got uh, it was Tupacalypse Now, Strictly for My
Mm.
Niggas, Me Against
Mm.
the World, uh, All Eyes on Me, and
Right.
then Machiavelli. So that's 5 albums before he passed. I'd say that those five are really strong contenders as far as cultural impact. Now, anything after he died, yeah, obviously he didn't have a hand in it. And granted, this is pre-recorded music or pre-recorded lyrics and shit. So I, you can make that argument that you know, granted, even after his death, he was still putting out good, at least decent music. But
Mm,
with those five that he had, I think that I would have put him a little higher. But
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people consider him one of like the greatest MCs, is because if nothing else, those five are some really strong contenders, like the subject matter
Yeah.
and Tupacalypse Now, him just being, on his nigga shit and strictly for my niggas. The Me Against the World is probably my favorite Tupac album, just because of how in depth he really gets, and just some of the subject matter that he talks about. That shit is like powerful. All Eyes on Me, that nigga just talking shit throughout the entire album. Like that, he is talking shit. He has some important tracks on there too, but he was really talking his big shit. That was his commercial that was his real commercial album. And
Mhm.
then Machiavelli, Head had some crazy themes and whatnot, but it was still a really strong album. But that's just me. I don't know. I've always had Pac as like, we always say Jay-Z, Pac, Biggie, Nas, like those four, and then Three Stacks is like those are the top five. And then if you want to throw Eminem in there, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was always those five or those six to me. So Pac, I guess being in the top five, it kind of fits with Pac because he's still in that conversation. But yeah, number four, Jermaine Cole.
It's too high. I'm a
And this
super
and,
oh,
cold
ain't that
fan.
your
and that's I was gonna
favorite?
say that's coming from a Cole fan.
I'm a big Cole fan. That's still too high. I'm still gonna. I'm gonna keep it real. That's just too high.
That's fair.
Uh, no, it's too high. I don't have. I don't have Cole over not. I don't have Cole over Nas. And I mean, like how you just said, Jay Z, Nas, Wayne, Pop, Biggie, Andre 3000. Like it's like
Hmm.
those are like the ones. So yeah, I don't have Cole top four. I think this is too high.
Yeah.
And then I don't think
Um.
it does him any favors. You have him
It,
top
it
four
it really
now.
doesn't.
You have him top four, and now everybody is all like everything he do is getting highly scrutinized, and it's like I'm waiting to see how his this next transition of his rap career goes because
I am
the
too.
the way that he raps is always I'm the best, I'm the greatest, can't nobody fuck with me, blah 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 blah. And then you have your chance to prove that you are the greatest, and then you back out of. I don't care if it was not your beef or whatever. There's still a way that you could have backed out of that without. I'm apologize. Let me delete all this shit. And I feel like that takes away from because now when you do your next CD and you talking about I'm the greatest and shit, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Just being real.
Yep. Yep. All right. Top three. Number three, Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I'm
Depending
okay.
on
I
who you
don't know
talk
if I
to,
would put him in the three, but I
yeah,
at least in the top 10 or top 15 if we're dropping them down.
If we
yeah.
talking earlier, Wayne, if we talking everything
Yeah, who's number
before,
three? Which
I
Wayne
would
at three?
say what any with Wayne it has to be Carter Four and back. And I don't like Carter Four, but there's a lot of people who do.
I say like father, like son and that. No,
Oh,
because it's some mixtapes. It's some mixtapes in
I was gonna say some mixtapes in there,
there.
but
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
come on now.
Okay, so then you have to say Carter Four, even though I wouldn't say the Carter Four is the one. But
No, it's not the one. No. Like I said, I think
but
that's
you
when the
gotta
prime
yeah,
Wayne stops.
yeah,
Is Carter
okay.
Four. That's that's like beyond the peak, because
Mhm.
peak would probably be Carter Three or No Ceilings, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
say peak is Carter two until yeah, about no ceilings.
right when No Ceilings is, because depending on who you talk to, some people are a fan of the I Am Not a Human Being series, and some people aren't.
The
And if
squad
y'all
of
want to check
mixtapes.
out that episode, because we did discuss Lil Wayne's discography, of course, Be sure that you check that out on Chaotic Culture. I believe that was a season 3 episode or season 4. I can't remember. Season 3, we talked about his albums, and then season 4, we talked about his mixtapes. So yeah, check that
Squad
out.
mixtapes. I can't feel my face.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking what's the shit called? The droughts. Like it's just yeah. If we talking like you said, anything from Carter, that might have been the best run that we've ever had. From somebody.
Yeah,
I don't care what nobody
great. He had a great run, like
that
a
was
phenomenal run from honestly from the Carter all the way to Carter 4, like with all the mixtapes in between and all the leaks that happened and shit. Yeah, that was a crazy run.
yeah. Super. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was but yeah.
All right, number 2, Kendrick Lamar.
I also feel like it's too high.
I think that I would agree with you, and this is coming from a Kendrick fan. Now, what I did was I went back and I listened to his entire discography. That's considered albums or like really popular mistake. I went back from Kendrick Lamar EP all the way down to Mr. Morale throughout this entire beef because I just really wanted to hear how his pen evolved. And I will say that as far as his pen is concerned, I will give you top 5. I'll let you rock if you have him in the top 5.
Mhm.
Top 3 is it's pushing it.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not gonna argue against it because I'm a Kendrick fan, and of course I'm gonna be biased. Like, yeah, my favorite's at number 2. I don't necessarily agree with it all that much, but I'll take the win where I can get it. But it's like, yeah, I see. And I see why he got the awards that he did because he is the only rapper to come out with a Pulitzer. Now we can talk about, how these awards work and whatnot and how, the Pulitzer is won by white people and whatnot. But if you have the opportunity to get white people to sit down and listen to your lyricism and just how in-depth it is and realize that ain't nothing out that year that can culturally top that, that's saying a lot for your pen game. So I can't even deny him the argument because winning a Pulitzer when you're the only rap album to win a Pulitzer, the only rapper to win a Pulitzer in a category that typically goes to classical or jazz albums, that's phenomenal. Like there's really I can't really argue around that, but I still think it's a little too high because Kendrick is still, granted, I know he's been in the game for real for the latter half of 15 years, but it's kind of like there's still some things that I don't know if I would like put him above. I'm still don't know if I would put him above Nas necessarily. I don't know if I'm putting him above 3 Stacks. I don't know if I'm putting him above Pac, his idol.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if you want to make that argument for top 5 of all time, okay.
And see, that's the thing that I have for the poster. The poster gives him that credit, right?
Yeah.
But then it also goes, okay, now that is the one that won a poster, is damn the greatest rap album of all time.
It goes back to, well, maybe not, because the album he had before that is somewhat considered the greatest rap album of all time, To Pimp a Butterfly.
For me, and this is me personally, if that wins a poster, other albums should win a poster because this isn't the greatest rap album of all. You see how I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying. Now, granted, Damn is definitely one of my favorite albums, and I think that a lot of people sleep on Damn because what I did was I listened to it forward and backwards, and it's like almost completely different feels. Yeah, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And conceptually, that's fucking crazy.
Mhm.
So I can see why it won the Pulitzer, but for me, I'm like, I think To Pimp a Butterfly really should have deserved it first, if anything. But then when you look at how the critics rated it, yes, they rated, and I'm going off of Metacritic. I know we don't care really too much about critics, but if we're going off of Metacritic, To Pimp a Butterfly was a 96. Dan was a 95. So it's like 1A, 1B, or 1 and 2, really.
See, I'm looking at things like Illmatic, The Blueprint, things like that. If those, to me, those also deserve a poster. If this poster. You see what I'm saying?
Illmatic for sure deserved a Pulitzer. And if we talking Jay-Z albums, Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, yes, definitely should have deserved one too. Uh, there's a lot of albums, a lot
So
of heavy albums that definitely should. I could have said that Me Against the World with Tupac should have deserved one.
Common B for me, Common
Yeah.
B. You still got fucking the Cool. Like
Hmm.
there's some albums
Yeah.
that are like so,
That
and
should have
that's
been
where
looked at.
yeah, and that's where I think that's where it draws that craziness to me because I don't want to seem like oh I don't because I thought about something that I said on one of the episodes. I was like oh I don't think he deserved it, but it's not that he didn't deserve it. I think others deserved it, and then there we go. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I get what
and
you're
he
saying.
can all and he also gets one. But yeah, I mean, if you basing it off that status of the poster being number two, you know what I'm saying? That's why he's the number two. Okay, cool. But for me, I think as well, I think he's too high.
Mm. And then number one, Jigga, J
Yeah,
Hope, and
Uh-huh.
Jay Z.
it's a lot of people's number one.
Number
This,
one.
I. It depends on where you're from. He's a lot of people's number one.
A lot of
To
people.
me,
Mm,
I take Nas over Jay Z, but that's me personally. Jay Z is still top three. So again, it just really depends on who you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my cup of tea as far as having him at number one, but in terms of lyricism, cultural impact, and if we throw sales in
Sales.
there too, yeah, if we throw everything in together, it's kind of hard to deny him. Like, yeah, I see where you're going with because the argument that a lot of people have in the South, it was like, oh, we ain't bump no Jay Z down here. I was like, y'all didn't bump Jay Z in the late 2000s because Wayne was there. But if you talk to them earlier 90s cats and early 2000s cats that were our age at the time, oh, they was bumping Jigga.
Yeah, they
Like,
lie.
let's not get it
Well,
twisted.
it's not that they lying. The South just is two. It's two different spectrums. Because
Yeah.
there's people in the South that listen to Jay Z regularly. You know what I'm saying? But then there's
Mhm.
people in the South that ain't never listened to a Jay Z album and they don't plan on it. They just,
That's,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
fair
That's
too.
so, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how that goes. Like, the South is just one of them things, especially in at least here. And then I seen some people making posts. I can't name a Jay Z song without Beyonce on it, and I'm just like, all right,
no.
we're just
Nah,
getting this.
I
y'all,
think that may be an
you
age
big cat.
thing too.
Yeah, I'm like,
Age and fandom.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
but yeah,
that's cap. With that whole that whole
I,
scenario is definitely cap.
I've seen that a lot on
Like,
Twitter.
I just have to say, like, you mean to you can't name a Jay-Z song without Beyonce. Like, Big Pimpin' still don't get radio play all these
Mhm.
years later. Come on now. I still hear Big Pimpin' on the radio, and I'm not a radio listener. I'll turn it on, they'll be like, here's a throwback, and I hear doom, 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 doom. I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all cannot deny Jigga. I'm
Fact.
just saying. But that
Well,
is the Forbes top 50 greatest rappers of all time list. Yes, it's definitely some interesting names and placements in here, and a lot of it is cap, and a lot of it is like that could be rearranged. So
where is Jadakiss? Where's Black Thought? Where's Ludacris? Where where's Styles
Yeah.
P? There's people there. Where's Fabulous? There's people that's missing.
And
yes,
Mm,
I
it's
was getting
like
ready to say like, yo, where is Kiss, man? Like, come on,
Kiss
of
not being
all
on here is
people.
egregious.
Uh,
Kiss not being on here is egregious.
somebody
dog, that is
needs to
crazy.
can use your professional email and email to Forbes and ask them for the hey, what's the criteria?
I
Like
need
what is
to.
a
Like,
throwaway email, whatever kind of email you want. Just go ahead and ask them. Because who up in there? Who I don't feel like they have anybody on their staff. And then even if they don't have anybody on their staff, if they did like the survey type thing,
mhm.
where they go around, I'm not even sure like if they would make the at least a decent criteria to even do a survey because you don't have nobody who's permanent, who's a
I'm
permanent
saying
staff member at Forbes who is helping, navigate this list.
not at all. And then there are a lot of other names that are missing as well. Like we can go deeper into the rabbit hole. Where the hell is KRS-One if we want to like talk
Mm.
spitters? Where the there's another rapper I had at the top of my head
Tech
and just forget.
Nine.
Tech Nine. Well, yes, because granted,
Child.
Tech Nine was never mainstream, but that man is a whole
Mm-hmm.
millionaire because of the culture that he created within Cleveland. Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on, where is there's so
I
many artists that they
could have
really
had
really ripped
Twister
off.
on there somewhere.
You
And I
you
don't
could
and
have
I
made that
don't
argument.
and I don't like how, he may not be the best of the duo, but I don't think Big Boy get
I,
enough,
and see, that's who I was thinking of. I was like, now wait a minute, how y'all include Three Stacks,
because
but y'all
everybody
don't
be
include
ready to
Big Boy?
say, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and it really bothers me because so many people will hype up Three Stacks, but they treat Big Boy like he's the redheaded stepchild. Like Big
yeah.
Boy, like don't
Mm.
really rap for real, for real. Like, yo, this dude, he Andre will tell you that Big Boy was the better rapper,
Yeah,
but
because I think because a lot of times with Andre 3000, it's like a lot of his lyrics aren't immediately surface. So you
mhm.
got the listen a time or two to sometimes at times catch stuff. But Big Boy, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Y'all just act like it was just Andre 3000 and just Andre 3000. Outcast
Yeah,
was, you know,
one couldn't
and
survive
because
without the other.
telling you now my man's playing the flute and y'all still trying to
Trying to
act
get an
like,
album out of
Hey,
them.
yeah, I'm saying, and then if we talking like if we continuing on the rap, like, yo, where's Big L? Where's Big Pun?
Whereas Big L,
mm,
Big Pun, Red Man,
Redman,
Scarface,
Redman, even like
hmm
yeah.
Scarface.
Scarface, Q-Tip, Ti, if you even want to go there. Because if ASAP Rocky could be on here, Ti should be on here.
Ti should definitely be on
if,
that.
if you gonna if you gonna do final 50
If you're gonna
and
do
you just do
MIA,
anything on the final 50, then
MIA on this list is still crazy.
yeah, if you're gonna do these people on the list, there's no way that you leave them off the list.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's
could even
like,
threw Slick Rick on there with his not a full discography.
mm,
Who's about all I love you?
right. It's
Mhm.
just so many names that we're missing and so many like arguments to be made because this is like, yo,
Run
that ain't no
DMC
way.
as a
Yeah.
group.
And granted, if you got 50 on there, I know some people gonna like say this, but like even Ja Rule had a great run.
Yeah,
He did.
he had a great
And
run.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
50 just happened to be more strategic and got
yes.
Mr. Man on up out of here. But
Mm,
Ja Rule was definitely like good. So I
mm-hmm.
think because how he fell off after 50, people tend to forget that. But no, my boy was
I
He
in
was.
somebody's
yeah,
studio putting some stuff together.
I will always say
Fire
that
Festival.
Ja Rule's mistake was not going after 50. Ja Rule's mistake was going after all of Aftermath. That was his biggest flaw
Mhm.
because then everybody
Mm.
came at his neck. And
Yeah.
50 was more strategic in, taking him out. It was like, yo, if you just went straight at 50
hmm
and had that tunnel vision, you would have been all right. And we could have been having a different conversation. But because you decided to target M and the entire label, okay, and
They,
then also bring Buster into this, and that's like, all right, well, shit.
yeah.
Now y'all got more issues. But anyway, that's the top 50 list. So before we get up out of here, y'all, because we had a really, really fun episode talking about this bullshit, I just want to share that the 2024 XXL Freshman List is out. Now, full context. This list is supposed to introduce you to new artists. So if you don't know who they are, that is the purpose of the freshman double XL list. But there, once upon a
Mm.
time, it used to be where you could at least recognize who the artists were somewhat. Like
hmm
even if you
Mm.
hadn't heard them fully, you at least heard it by name. Like, okay, I remember who that is. I think I know who that is. Or I heard a song by him, and so on and so forth. For a long stretch of period, there were artists who we didn't have a clue who the fuck they were. Like they were really just brand new in some of these lists. Now, I'm also going to share my screen here real quick, and I just want y'all to take a look at the as soon as I can bring it up. If my computer act right, and I hope this thing didn't freeze on me because this thing is shitty. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, my computer froze once again. I'm hoping this, don't fuck up the recording. I'm gonna be so upset. Y'all bear with me. My laptop is like really like on its last breath. This thing is almost 10 years old and still
Oh,
running. It's
yeah.
time
It's
for a
been
new one.
rocking with you.
Yeah, it has, but it's ah man, I hope this thing really didn't freeze. But anyway, while this is still going, um I am going to go to my phone instead and bring it up now. Come on, bro.
Send it to
What
Yeah.
are we doing?
What you trying to
Okay.
find?
It's okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It finally it finally wanted to react. Maybe. But I was trying to share and it's just taking a long time for it to load. But can y'all see?
Oh, wait, whoa. What's happening here?
All right, so
I ain't never seen a nigga go and get over
Why?
this.
that was his first reaction. All right. So so look, the here are the freshmen on the Double XL 2024. You got Big X the Plug. I actually have heard that. I've heard of him. I've heard a
Never
song
heard
by
of
him.
him.
We got that Mexican OT. I've heard a couple of
I
songs
know
by
of
him.
him. I know
Yep.
of him.
This is the first one I didn't hear. I haven't heard of Late Banks.
I've heard of her. She's TikTok. I mean, she's doing
Okay.
rap, but she's TikTok famous, and
TikTok.
that's the kind of new criteria nowadays
I see.
with songs.
All right. We got
I
Boss
thought
Man
that was
D-Lo.
Drewski for a second. I was say,
But no, I've heard of Boss Man D-Lo. I haven't heard a lot of
I've heard
songs
of
from him,
him.
but I have heard of Boss Man. This one is Rich Amiri. I've heard of Rich Amiri.
Yeah,
This is Scarlett. Now,
she
I thought that
she's a pretty tough one.
yeah, I honestly I heard of her, but I didn't like lock in until someone had reminded me who she was. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I like her
So
personality. I hope she go
yeah,
far.
she do. We got Huncho, which I know
I
about
don't know
Huncho.
who
Like
that is. I'm being
that one is
honest.
familiar. Four Bats. I don't know why they put that picture.
Um,
Why he put that picture like that, but and I don't know why he got all that cash like that. Like, bro, we know where you come from. We've seen your
hmm,
house. We've seen when you record, bro. Like, come on, man, you ain't gotta flex like that. But
mm.
anyway,
I haven't seen
he can make good music. He make good music though. I ain't go trip. We got
Ooh,
Maya the
Maya the
Don,
Don. I
which
like
I
her.
know of Maya the Don.
Maya the
I've
Don. I
heard
like
some
her.
great things from Maya. And we got Cash Cobain. I'll
Mm,
admit this is one of the ones that I also
new to
haven't
me.
heard of. That
I'm
one's
old.
new. Skilla Baby is also one that I haven't recognized, and he was the 10th spot winner. So that is the cover. Not like us. See what Kendrick done did,
Uh,
y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Now everybody gonna start saying that shit.
Just
Like
say
everybody
I'm
already
just
saying
tired
that
of
shit.
every single non-black person under the sun not recognizing the black cultural importance that is literally taking place with not like us, but they just like that little part talking about A minor. They
yeah.
just and
Hmm
it's like and
Screw
then
the
get
third
the child
verse.
and yeah, get to the third verse and just
like,
everybody just fall out to about let the niggas have it.
nah,
Mhm.
that third
They
verse
said
is the most
let them
important
have
one
it.
of that song. Like once
Yeah.
upon a
It
time, all
is.
of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Like yeah, that whole rundown on the third verse is like the best part of
Mm-hmm.
that song for me. But
Correct.
yep, that is the Double XL freshman list, and this list had more names that I recognized. So I will give them credit. My biggest critique though is that a lot of the artists that Double XL pick now are not unique within each other. And I actually tweeted this out on the pod page. Chaotic Culture one on Twitter, by the way, guys, because yeah, my shit got packed up. My old shit got packed up. You already know. But I had
Yeah.
said this. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right. Now, I know the list is supposed to put you on to artists you may or may not know about, hence why it's called the freshman list. However, the way lists are crafted now makes me realize Double XL will only feature artists in a certain category of hip hop. There used to be variety, and that is what is sorely lacking nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back to some of those older lists, like take the list that Kendrick was on. I'm gonna just throw that out there. You had Kendrick, you had Lil B the Bass God, you had Lil Twist, you had Yellow Wolf, you had Saha the Prince,
Mm.
you had Mac Miller,
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so. Oh, you had Big Crit, you had Meek Mill, you had Fred the Godson, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much variety in those names.
Mm-hmm.
They're not giving you the same kind of hip hop. Like any of those names do not they not did not make the same kind of music.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the lines have like really been blurred in hip hop, and now a lot of the artists unfortunately don't have that same uniqueness and that same flair. And I think that is part of the conversation on why hip hop has saw such a decline before this beef,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's
Mm.
shit was sounding the same. Granted, the
Very.
girlies are taking over in hip hop, and I love seeing women at the forefront of hip hop. But there was a lot of women in hip hop who also don't sound different from each other either. Some of
Mm.
them are really unique, and then some of them are kind of like, okay, but are you doing anything different? Are you saying anything different? And I
Mm.
can't.
I think
I
it's the
say,
same with just kind of all across the board. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's the same. Like, we can talk about how hip hop in the past or even now talked about the same subject matter as the girls.
Mm.
Like someone had told me, well, do you hold that same standard with the niggas in hip hop when they talk about money, cars, and drugs and fucking women? I'm like, yes,
Yes.
Mm.
yes, I absolutely hold them to that same standard. I don't want y'all talking about the same shit over and over and over again, man. Give me something different, bro.
Mhm.
I
It's
listened to
just
Gunna's
fall.
last album and I was sorely disappointed because it's like, yo, Gunna, you making the same shit over and over again now, bro.
Yeah.
Like this shit starting to get
Uh,
real repetitive.
the
Bro.
the biggest thing. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the biggest thing is everybody is making quick hits and nothing that says longevity.
Exactly.
Nobody, everybody's making something. And has anybody kind of noticed how there aren't going to be too many artists, or let me say rephrase this. There aren't too many 3 minute and over songs. Have y'all kind of noticed that like,
Mhm.
I mean, I know I said they make quick hits, but by quick hits I mean something that's gonna like get the people going. It's gonna get quick spins and quick money and quick interest and stuff like that. Nothing that's just gonna be long and in depth. But I've noticed like a lot of songs today don't it's not that many you're going to find over 3 minutes. Now I'm not talking about back in the old days. We could have somebody have a song 6 minutes, and we just sitting there, and we would just be sitting there. But you could at least get a good 3.5 4 minute song. But now it's like they got an
Attention spans
opening.
is different now.
Yeah,
Very much.
that bridge, the chorus, and then what, they be up out of there. Like, it just not any longevity. The songs are quick, and a lot of artists also are made from TikTok, which is good exposure. But there another side is all these artists also are making songs that are playable and more notable on like TikTok, which is the current social one of the current big social media apps. If you are trying to get yourself out there, so there's that's just kind of where we are right now with
Yeah,
the state of
we
music.
we say this all the time on this podcast, man. Bring back A&R, man. Bring back the artist development. Like you can get a quick hit and whatnot, but have a team around you that's gonna build you up and actually give you some sort of presence as an artist and have you like don't just go to these quick big stages. You got a big hit on TikTok. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna throw you at this festival. Okay, now you're gonna go on tour to these
Mm-hmm. And that's
big
the
stages.
step.
Nah, like grind it out for real, for real. Like go to these smaller clubs, get a name buzzing, and then you can hop into the. I'm not saying turn down the festival money, but like if you start in the smaller clubs and whatnot as performing, and then you get to the big stage, now you know how to perform, and then you go back to doing like the smaller venues and whatnot, and then your name gets bigger and bigger as you go. that's going to give you more longevity, not only as an artist but as a performer. And that way you can get on stage and not use a damn track to back you up. You
Child, I thought you
can
was talking about Sweetie.
uh, no, I
Yep.
was really talking about Ice Spice,
Let-
but
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
yeah,
you know what? But she kind of did get better people around her because what was it? Which festival was it where she was at? And they were like, oh, she was so out of breath. And this is like right after she kind of took off, and they made her go back and get breathing
I want
control.
to say, yeah, I want to say it was Rolling Loud, but she came up there, the wig was all out of place,
Yeah,
and she just was not, she wasn't keeping up. And this is like, yo, you
she
got to do better.
was not.
So she definitely got better. I will give her credit for that. Like she got some
But she rapped the
practice and some
same.
exposure, but I don't really mean to use that Kendrick concert as a placeholder, but like, look at that man don't have a track backing him or a voice track backing him up
Mhm.
outside of the um outside of other things that go on in the track, like when he's doing the ad libs and whatnot, yeah, you'll have a track for that. But as far as like the lyrics and whatnot, he is literally on the mic himself rapping that shit. He's not using a track to bump him up in case he forgets a line or anything. He's going straight from memory. And so I think that that is really what's needed. But again, artist development is really the important thing. Like for you to go straight from TikTok to the stage is nah, that it just doesn't work for a lot of people unless you not interested in having longevity. If you're just here for a quick buck, then by all means do you, man. I ain't hating. I'm not hating. But if
Yeah.
you trying to like have longevity into the rap game, yo, like do what the older artists did, man. Go back and study the game for real,
Mhm.
and just build yourself up as an artist and have a team around you that's gonna get you to that next level. But that's just me. We gotta wrap this up, y'all. We've been in here talking good shit for almost two
2 hours.
hours. So with that, I just want to ask: are there any new Black business highlights that y'all have? Any businesses that you want to highlight real quick before we get up out of here?
No, I don't have one. Cam, you got any?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Do you have any like Black business highlights? Any new businesses that we need to hear about real quick? Shout out
Oh,
plugs, pub up.
well, if you guys are ever, in a Dallas area or the Texas area, stop by Crunchy Bees. It's a black owned cookie shop, and they're actually really good. They've got a select basic amount of flavors that they're starting with their cookies, which is good because you don't want to get too far out with it, but they've actually been really good. So if you ever go by the Crunchy Bees, oh, and also as what I was saying earlier, as far as the therapy for young ladies, young and old, if you are looking to find a black therapist, there is a site called Therapy for Black Girls.com, and you can actually put in your address, and you know it can tell you where where's the closest therapist near you, and they even also show you who offers virtual, because sometimes you just can't get to that office, and get you a quiet little space and go there, and again just look up organizations that offer funding for therapy, that offer it. So yeah, definitely check that out. But other than that, I guess since we getting on up out of here, y'all know where to find me. If not, Misha KT on Twitter. I don't know if y'all walk me out. I mean, Kid done told me to get on up out of here behind the scenes, guys. So
I did
this
not say
y'all
that.
y'all hearing me be walked out.
I did not say
But
that.
yeah,
But go ahead. I'll let you
yeah,
cook.
Misha KT on Misha KT on Twitter. And I think I don't really have nothing else to say besides thank you for having me here.
Of
I'm gonna
course, of
take my
course.
good britches and get on up out of here.
I appreciate you, Cam. Steve, you got anything that you want to plug or real quick?
blurminds.com for Blerd Mind Production. Season 2 of Wake the Dead will be coming soon. We are wrapping up the season recordings. So, yep, that season 2 will be done, and then we'll be putting out another issue of the Wake the Dead because we got these little things right here called physical copies that are
Hey,
coming. And yeah, man. So I'm gonna try to have some at DreamCon, and if you want some, come get one. You know what I'm saying? $2. I'll do it cheap just because I want to get it out there.
hey,
It
man.
don't take much, do it.
All right, be disrespectful.
All
$2
right,
umbrella.
as y'all know, any episode that runs 2 hours or longer, I'm not going to do the rundown. But if you need a rundown of all the lists of all the businesses that support us and all the podcasts and all the content creators that support us, I'd highly recommend that you check out an earlier or previous episode of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. With that, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite digital streaming platform or digital service provider. Please be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Chaotic Culture Pod. You could get early access to the pod as well as some bonus content. You can subscribe at either $3, $5, $7, or $10. It don't matter. We still appreciate the support. Again, you can follow us on Facebook at Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod, and you can follow us on X/Twitter at Chaotic Culture 1. You can follow me, Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Scuba Steve on all social media at Scuba Steve 1428. You can follow Miss Nasa on all social media at Call Me Nasa. You can, excuse me, not Call Me Nasa anymore. It's I'm Nakaso. Goodness gracious, it's been too long. You can follow Law on Instagram at l.jr_96 and on X/Twitter at law96 _. And you can follow Sappy on all social media at Scraps14. And you can follow Johnny at Lee Trey on all social media. Big prayers up to my boy Law. He is a Navy recruit, and he just, of course, got shipped off the basic. So my prayers are with you, bro.
Hey,
Anything, I did not get the address in time, so I'm like, dang, I won't be able to send him a letter. I just gotta wait till he gets back. But still, all the prayers, man. And then when you come back, your spot is ready for you whenever you return, man. But good luck, and I'm wishing you all the best and praying for all the best. With that in mind, y'all, this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, and God is love. We out.
peace.
Peace, y'all.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid the Pro and friends, black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. And